What's up, everybody? Again, I apologize for another YouTube Live. I only apologize for them because I do not like the quality of this front-facing camera on the iPhone. But I ordered a new iPhone, which is still like 6 weeks away, which apparently has like a 1080p camera, I believe. So, hey, stick with me for another 6 weeks. If I ever have to do these YouTube Lives again, things will get better when I have to do these. Anyway, let's move on. I picked up this book recently, Stream Punks. Robert here, I believe, is like some sort of chief business officer at YouTube, so he knows something about YouTube. He had an interesting story in here about kind of the early days of YouTube, and it was YouTube. I don't know if you remember. It was like YouTube and Google Video. So like pre-YouTube belonging to Google, it was like the competition between YouTube and Google Video. And I mean, I remember it was like, is YouTube gonna survive? Like Google Video, it wasn't pretty. But then it like you quickly realize, like, well, everything's on YouTube. Like no one's using Google Video, and he traces the story in here about how Google Video was out there trying to get all these deals with like, for these like 90-minute, 2-hour kind of movies, and they were trying to, do deals with like the big players to get movies made for Google Video. Whereas YouTube was like, nah, like it's all like, we're just gonna stick with what works for us, which is like the short clips, of random amateurs and random people out there. And hey, that's what won. It was, and it turns out people weren't going online. I mean, if you kind of delve into like, well, what were people tuning into the internet for, and using services like Google Video and YouTube, it was for those short clips. It was for like watching an amateur do something funny and weird on a shaky camera, on a front-facing iPhone camera. It wasn't to watch a high-definition film. People were going to their televisions for that, and maybe today it's changed a little bit, now with the Netflixes and stuff, but man, I still don't want to watch a really high definition 2-hour movie on my laptop. I want a an Amazon Fire or an Apple TV so I can watch it on my, fancy high definition television. So YouTube understood their medium and the people that use their medium, and Google didn't, and Google screwed it up. And I'm reminded about this even more recently. A friend of mine is doing a podcast, and they had this like revelation that the podcast, they had one version of the podcast, and I think they were like 10-minute episodes, maybe 15 minutes tops, and it wasn't doing as well as they wanted. But then all of a sudden they switched over to like a much longer podcast, much longer format. Maybe it's like 30 minutes now, and it's doing much better. And there's all sorts of reasons why, but there's a theory that one of the big reasons why is that a 30+ minute podcast is the proper thing for the medium. Just like short clips on YouTube is the proper thing for the medium. A podcast, people who, I think most of the people listening to podcasts are commuters, or people doing kind of a long task that they can hear, and they're doing something else, and they're doing it for a long time. I mean, if you're in a car, I think the average commute, I looked up the average commute in the United States, and it's like over 30 minutes. It's about 30 minutes. That's it, right? I mean, that's the average perfect length for a podcast. If your podcast is just 10 minutes long, the person doing this podcast is going to end up having to choose 3 different podcasts to listen to. More choice is worse. They're probably going to just go ahead and pick the thing that's 30 minutes and not listen to you. You're dealing with that competition. So it's an interesting lesson, and it makes you think about us who are putting ourselves out there and putting content out there on places like Medium and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, and trying to think like, is the thing I put in YouTube, is it the right length? Is it the right type of content? Is it the right thing for that medium? Is it what people who go to YouTube want to see? Or does it instead, that particular thing belong in a place like LinkedIn or Medium? We probably shouldn't all be treating all of these things as like universal distribution channels, because they're not. There's different age groups and demographics and people who want a different job from that medium that we have to deal with and we have to understand. So it's food for thought. And I think Gary Vaynerchuk talks a lot about this too. He's also a big proponent of like, no, go ahead and do all these different social media platforms, but don't treat them as just like, don't treat your Twitter account as just a distribution channel for your YouTube account, your Medium account, and your Instagram account. Everything is different. And make unique things that are perfect for that channel. And you're going to see you know, a much better payoff. It's it. Great book. This is a really good book for a lot of other reasons. There's a lot of really great history in here about kind of the early people who kind of rose to fame on YouTube and why. And you know, really food for thought for if you're putting stuff out on YouTube too and streaming content. That's it. I hope you guys are having an awesome weekend. I will hopefully upload a better video tomorrow. I'm running out of time. Lynette's out of town. I'm taking care of the kid and 3 pets. And there's just been a lot of stuff going on. So, but I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you guys are having an awesome weekend. Thank you so much for tuning into these things. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe. And Derek, you're welcome. It's a great book. Yeah, Streampunks. Derek said, thanks for the book recommendation. Anytime. Stay tuned. You know, I'm constantly trying to recommend books on this thing. And I go through a lot of books, but I can't say I would recommend most of them, right? Like, I go through them, and then by the end, I'm just like, man, I don't know. This is maybe a little bit too long. But I enjoyed this one. It was a quick read, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, yeah. Please subscribe if you're new here. I upload a new video upload a new video every single day. And that's it. I gotta go to bed. And I hope you guys have a good evening and day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.